Hi Capricorn, welcome to your March 2020 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, I'm actually not going to be offering those until most likely April. If I start them up earlier than that, though, I will make an announcement on the community section of the channel, so just keep an eye out for that. Or at the very least, when I start posting the April general videos, I'll make an update there as well. As far as what we have in front of us, this is what I call the Bridging the Gap spread. And the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. And these are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through all those, we'll pull some oracle cards to gain some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as for the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot. On the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And if you feel like this represents more your energy on the right side and this seems like their energy on the left, then definitely trust that since it is just a general reading. Alright, so I'll fall that out of the way. Past energy I'm seeing on your side, I see the Two of Arrows in reverse. So I'll just hold in the upright while we talk about it. Two of Arrows usually represents, if we think about in the traditional tarot, it's usually a woman with blindfolds, sitting with her back turned to water and the moon, which to me usually represents trying to make a decision based strictly on intellect. And with this coming up in reverse here, what I feel like that could be saying is maybe you guys weren't feeling like you could necessarily trust yourself even on an intellectual level. So you might have actually been struggling to make a decision. Maybe you've been getting some signs and synchronicities, maybe even, having dreams about this person, but not feeling sure if you could trust what you were getting or not as far as that information goes. And, part of this could have been as well just saying that maybe you just weren't ready to take action at the time because you guys did have Mars moving through your 12th house for a while, which can make it a bit more difficult to take action in certain situations. And now that we do have Mars in your sign, that might actually, change as far as that energy goes. But for some of you, I'm seeing that was the case where you guys just weren't sure if you could trust yourself in the decision-making process. Now, for some of you, that could mean that maybe there was some kind of a falling out that you guys might have had with this person, because another way that the Two of Swords energy is also referred to as the Truce card. So maybe you were struggling to decide whether to forgive a person or not, if this is someone you already have a past history with. And for others of you, it could just be, as far as whether you wanted to get the connection off the ground or not, maybe you're having some difficulty with that. Past energy on their side, we have the Nine of Chalices. So this person definitely seems to be more sure of themselves regarding the connection than you were, at least in the past, that is. With this coming up here, to me this represents, it's often referred to as the wish fulfillment card. So this is someone who, probably really saw a lot of potential in you, probably felt like the connection was really good. And also, with the Nine of Cups, it can be a bit of a dreamy energy too, though. It is Pisces energy, so, maybe this is something where you might have felt like maybe you guys both got swept up in emotion, right? And you were trying to temper that, like, okay, let's try to be logical about this too, whereas this person was just really just stuck in the dreamy, romantic vibes and maybe not focusing as much on the practical side. And maybe that might have been what gave you a little bit of pause, like, okay, one of us has to be down to earth here and think about this connection, right? So that could be how it's coming out for some of you. And for a smaller percentage of you, especially for those of you who do have a history with a person and maybe you guys had some kind of a falling out, the Nine of Cups energy at times can be a bit of a selfish energy too. So maybe that was the issue for those of you who did have a falling out with this person, was maybe you felt like they were selfish in some way, shape, or form. Alright, in the present energy, we have the Six of Arrows. So this is technically Aquarius energy here, but yet we see more air energy. Now the good thing is it's in the upright this time, so to me it feels like you're feeling more confident in your thoughts at this time. You feel like your decision-making ability is better. And given that, for those of you where, like I said, even though I do feel it's a much smaller percentage of you, for those of you who did have a falling out with this person, this can actually represent you wanting to restore the peace with them now. So maybe some time has passed, maybe you've given it some thought, right? Maybe you're realizing, okay, maybe we can get this back on track. But for others of you where this isn't someone you had a falling out with, but just more where you weren't sure if you wanted to proceed with the connection or not, Usually we see the Six of Arrows energy as moving to calmer waters, but for me, what's really sticking out with this card in particular is the way that she's moving back, right? So to me, that means coming back to a connection. Whereas if the boat were facing out, right, and we saw her back, she was moving away, then I would say maybe you guys were moving away from the connection. But the majority of you, I feel like this is you actually coming back in now and, actually feeling more sure of yourselves in that regard. And I do have to say also, while it's on my mind, since Libra is 10th house energy, maybe you guys were having some struggles financially. So maybe that was what was preventing you from being able to focus on the connection as well. And now with this card coming up here, given that Aquarius is your second house of finances, maybe that's saying that there's been some peace restored in your financial area. So now you just feel like you can give more energy to your relationship. All right, present energy on this person's side, we have Temperance. So this is actually the major arcana card for Sagittarius. So on the one hand, interesting because these are both mutable energies, but at the same time, I'm still getting the same vibe here, which is that this person has their mind made up. They're definitely interested in you. And to me, this represents a card of balance as well. So again, for those of you who did have some kind of falling out in the past, this could definitely represent that both of you now are ready to restore the balance in the connection. But for others of you, again, if this is someone who, like I said, maybe they were pretty sure of themselves in the past, but maybe you were the one who was having some doubts. Now that you're coming around, it looks like they've just been waiting. They've been, keeping it cool, and now they're ready to proceed forward with you. So to me, it's someone who hasn't really lost interest in that time or anything. All right, future energy on your side, we have the Nine of Cups. So interesting there, as far as like we said, we did see the Nine of Cups in the past energy on their side. So on the one hand, this could just represent you actually, again, having more confidence in the connection, having more confidence in your decision making as well. Because also keep in mind too, with these swords energies we're seeing here, as I'm recording this, we have Mercury retrograde in Pisces, which is your third house of communication. So that could have made things confusing for you guys too, as far as wondering if you could trust your decision making or not. So to see this coming up here, traditionally with the Nine of Cups, it's usually we see a guy with his arms crossed with the Nine Cups behind him, which shows that, it's like knowing what you bring to the table and not settling for less. But here I see this as, whereas I view that energy as a bit more passive and letting things come to you, I feel like this is someone who's actually more willing to take action and actually manifest that Ten of Cups. Because if we think about the Ten of Cups in the traditional tarot, it's a rainbow with the 10 cups filled. So here I see the similarity to that, right? Like she's expanding to get toward that 10 of Cups, and then we see the cup down there. So to me, this is a bit more active than your average 9 of Cups energy. So I feel like this is you guys having your mind made up. And for, like I said, a majority of you, that is going to be as far as moving toward this connection. For some of you where this was a falling out, like I said as well, for some of you, this might be you deciding to move on altogether and manifest your happiness elsewhere. But I think that'd just be for a very small percentage of you. For most of you, I feel like this is working towards this same connection. All right, future energy on their side, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is actually the court card for Capricorn. So for one, again, this could just be yet again another indicator that this is someone who views you as you're it for them, like they have their mind made up. It seems like they haven't really wavered as far as that goes. It looks like they're pretty sure that you're the person they want to be with. But I do have to say, with the artwork in this card in particular, some of them might feel like you could be coming across a bit high maintenance in a way. The reason I say that is because I think of that term, having to kiss someone's feet, right? So we see that person there. Given that this is the Queen of Pentacles card, I would think that this represents the energy and this would be theirs. So, again, I don't necessarily think it's too big of a deal, but it could just be that, again, and maybe that's just because you guys were so stuck in your head for a while that maybe they felt like, okay, well, what do I need to do to please this person? You know what I mean? So that could be how it was playing out for some of you, where maybe there's some frustration building up on their part, wondering, okay, well, how do I get through to this person? But the good thing is, if that's the case, with you being in this Nine of Cups energy in the future, that energy should diffuse itself because, again, if you're feeling more confident and sure in the connection now, you'll obviously put more energy into it. And then, they're feeling that maybe you're a bit high maintenance will probably drop and you guys could progress the connection in a more positive way. All right. And then bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Five of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy here. But this does represent an energy of disappointment. So for some of you, again, like I said, I did see a small percentage of you where maybe you had a falling out with this person. So clearly that could have been why you had this blocked off energy with them for a while, which was, you were obviously still working through whatever situation you guys were going through and maybe weren't ready to accept them back in at the time. But for others of you, this could also point to why you were so stuck in your head for a while. Maybe in a previous connection, there was a lot of disappointment, and maybe you guys are still healing from that at the time this person came along. So that might have been what was making it difficult for you guys to move forward with them too. Bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Knave of Chalices. So this is the equivalent of the Page of Cups. And to me, this just emphasizes what I was saying before, which was to say that, maybe they were starting to get a little frustrated, and we could see that with that Queen of Pentacles energy too. And like I said, obviously that would go hand in hand with the Five of Cups. So for a small percentage of you where maybe this is someone you had a falling out with, obviously they might have been frustrated trying to get back in your good graces, which, hey, if they did do something wrong, that's kind of more their problem than yours, right? But for others of you, again, if there was another disappointment you were going through, like I said, maybe a previous connection, or maybe you were having some difficulties with finances for a while, that could have been the blockage, and maybe they were just thinking to themselves, well, okay, I definitely see this person as the one, but, how do I get through to them, right? So for both of you, I feel like those are more passing energies. We'll see if the Oracle cards disagree with me on that, but yeah, that's what I'm feeling primarily. All right, so moving on to the Oracle cards. First, we'll see if we get anything from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck. And for those of you who haven't seen this type of reading from me before, I actually do pre-shuffle this deck before I start recording. And I'm just looking for some jumpers here. First, I'll be looking for any unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while and nothing comes up, I just take that as a sign to keep it moving, since it's just a general reading. But if you're curious, with the personal readings, I always do pull cards for both sides. It just might take a little longer. All right, so with that said, like I said, first we're looking for unspoken messages from you to them. Shuffle for a bit, see if we get anything. Okay, nothing coming up there, but I'll give it a few more shuffles. Alright, so next we'll see if we have any unspoken messages from them to you. Oh, got one there. Okay. We have, I'm reminded of you constantly. So on the one hand, if this is someone you had a falling out with, obviously we could see that there, right? But even if this isn't someone you had a falling out with, but just someone who might have felt like it was difficult to get in, get into your good graces, same thing there. Like I said, it looks like this person definitely seems pretty sure of the connection on their side. So, not like this is a groundbreaking message, but definitely shows to me that they've definitely been thinking about you a lot, regardless of the circumstance. And lastly, we'll see what we get from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And same situation here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, and I'm just looking for one card here, and we'll wrap up. Oh, okay, got one there. Okay, you guys got Poised. There's the artwork, and the number is 48. So yeah, I could definitely see that fitting in on this side as well, where, like I said, in the past it always looks like you might have been struggling a bit with trusting your own thought process and maybe signs you might have been getting, but now we see a lot more confidence there with the Nine of Cups. So on the surface, that definitely seems to align with the spread, but we'll see what the messages in the book say. Okay, it says being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best, confidence. The Oracle's message. You can be assured that you are ready for anything right now. You know what you need to, your skills are sharp, you've come to this place armed with wisdom and knowledge, and you sense a new phase of your life about to begin. People respond to your confidence and trust you. This is an auspicious time to begin new things. So people respond to your confidence and trust you, and this is an auspicious time to begin new things. Both of those make me think of that Nine of Cups energy we see in the future. Like I said, maybe you guys having Mars in your sign is just helping reinvigorate you energetically and helping you push forward on goals you might have had where maybe when it was moving through your 12th, you might have been struggling with that a little bit. Not to mention you guys had all the eclipse energy not too long ago, so maybe you guys might feel like you're just now getting in gear. All right. The relationship message says when you're confident and happy in your own skin, you are ready for deeper, more intimate relationships. You have nothing to prove right now. You are completely yourself and can handle anything. Love, friendships, and harmonious new connections are all present now or are coming in. You're ready to give and receive from the heart. This is a beautiful place to be. So yeah, I mean, that seems to align with the overall spread too, as far as especially when it says you're ready to give and receive from the heart. Again, that makes me think of that Nine of Cups energy that we see in the future position. So yeah, hopefully that did resonate with you guys. We'll wrap up there and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.